I really loved the Russian food. Russians, they love warm things, obviously, because it's cold there. They think it's really bad to drink cold drinks. So, of course, they always have their tea. They'll always give you tea and little chocolates or little cookies or something. That's every lesson you go to, you have tea. They love their soups as well, just because they're warm. They have these things called blini, which they're kind of like crepes, but they will have big, blini parties, and they'll invite the missionaries over, and they love making blini. So I really liked those. They also have, I loved they just have like little bakeries, and their bread and their little pastries is so good. So much better than here in America. So much fresher. So I really loved that. They also have these little things called pierogi, which is kind of like, you can have lots of different things in it. Potatoes, vegetables, meat, different things, rice, and then it's wrapped up like in dough, sort of, and then they fry it. So it's almost kind of like, if you've ever heard of chicken pillows, it's like that, but I loved those pierogi. It's really yummy. So.
I think the thing I love most about Russian food is how fresh it is. People really live off their land there. Almost every Russian has what they call a dacha, or just a little house out in the countryside. And on that same land that their dacha is on, they have a little garden. And in the summer, they live there almost most of the time. They come in and out of the city in the summer from their dacha, and they'll bring back their food, and they'll store it for the winter, and they'll eat it. And I just liked how fresh all of their food seemed to be. Potatoes, beets, carrots, everything. They all grew it themselves. And even in the stores, it seemed like a lot of their produce was a lot more fresh, or I guess new than some of the produce that we buy in America.
So good. Okay, the best food in Russia. You have your bowl of borscht, which is just this blood red soup full of yummy vegetables. It has potatoes, it has carrots, it has beets, it has is that it with the vegetables? Oh, cabbage. And then you have like either chicken or beef or pork, like any type of meat works, and it's just so good. And then you have your black bread, like the blackest bread you can imagine. And you just cream on, you put on some butter, and the Russians usually didn't dip it, but I love to dip my bread in it, and it's making me salivate. Oh, and they put smetana in it. Smetana is pretty much our sour cream. They put sour cream in their beet soup, and I mean, it does the trick. It is so good. And they make a lot of soups in general. Russians, they have some soups you eat cold. I don't know if you've heard about that, but they have some that you eat cold, and they usually have, like, they cook it with the bone. Like, here in America, most meat is cut, like, boneless. In Russia, like, they have their a lot of soups. And bone, I guess, adds a lot of flavor to the broth. So a lot of slices of meat have bone in it. It's hard to find meat that doesn't have a bone. It's boneless.